Hi, this is a bar-by-bar review of the Russell 2000 futures contract for December 3rd, 2024. Bar 1 is a big outside down bear bar. We opened at a prior day low, reversed up to test the high close 81, and then we reversed down, forming a bear bar, and we're closing below this higher time frame EMA here. And that tells you that we have at least two legs down, possibly a third leg down here. One pullback, two pullback, three. So it could be three legs down. We may find buyers below this low. Yesterday, overall trading range, but a tight bull channel for most of the day. So lots of buying pressure, lots of support down here. Bar 2, small pullback into 1 and then a sell-off. We covered a lot of distance here, and that tells you that there's not very much reason to look to buy, because any bull that bought here is going to be very disappointed with these two bars. So I expect whatever rally we get to find sellers, so probably sellers above the second bar. Bar 3, inside bar, prominent tails on the top and bottom of the bar, smaller body, but a good bar for the bears. Not ideal, lots of overlap, big tails. Bar 4, breaking out, finding sellers above 3 and reversing down. Bear bar. I wouldn't really say we're at support, but we do have a spike and channel bull trend here, and we are testing the bottom of the channel, which ultimately becomes a trading range. But because of all this selling pressure today, this tight channel down, I expect whatever rally we get, unless it's very strong, not to get very far and to find more sellers up here. Bar 5, traders sold to close of 4, and we're breaking out below this small bear flag for a third or fourth leg down. The EMA is sloping steeply down. We're failing below this prior day low, and now we're probably heading for another prior day low here. We have yesterday's low down here, and it looks like we may get there. Reasonable to sell the close here with a stop up there, but if you do that, it's at least two legs down, and there's a small tight trading range here, so this breakout may fail. Possibly better to wait or sell a pullback. So 6 broke out and reversed up, finding more sellers at the open of bar 5 and channeling down. Not ideal for the bears, but not really good for the bulls. Probably sellers above. Outside bar on 7. This comes after 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is usually when news takes place. So you expect bad follow through, outside bars, trading ranges. So we went below 6, reversed up, and now we're closing above 6. But I expect whatever rally we get not to get very far, probably sellers up here. Really no reason to look to buy yet. We could be testing the bad buy signal bar 19 high and reversing up from that level, trying to get a second leg up from this rally. But overall, if you just look at the chart, we have consecutive lower highs here and lower lows, and we're inside of an overall trading range. So probably better to wait for more information and look to sell. Clearly always in short. So strong bull outside bar in a bear trend, probably sellers at the close of that bar. Bar 8, micro double top with 7, sold off, but tail, small pullback, probably traders selling to close. Deep pullback on 9, and then a sell-off, closing below the prior bar, probably going lower. Buyers below 9, but probably bears scalping out and looking to sell again higher. Micro double bottom on 11 with 10. Decent enough stop entry bar for the bulls, but really not ideal. The channel down is too tight, and this is a tight trading range. Consecutive lower highs here, so we need to see a breakout with follow through above that level. 12 trying to break out and close beyond, but really not doing the job. Deep pullback on 12, it could be an implied 2 or 3 legs up. We didn't quite get to the EMA, but micro double top with 7, or double top with 7, so possibly more sellers up here. Small rally pulling back into the high of 12 and then selling off sharply below all of the bars to the left. This is characteristically different than everything that's occurred so far. And for that reason, it's a surprise and it probably needs a second leg down. But it's a big bar, so big risk. Probably not ideal to sell the close with a stop up there. Depending on how this bar formed, it could be reasonable to do that, but based on the trading range price action so far, you'll probably get some sort of pullback. Maybe the low of 7. 14, traders bought the close, scalped out on 13. Now we're rallying on 14. It's a breakout test of support here on a line chart. The 5 close, the 9 close is going to be resistance. So here we have a double bottom. It failed, lower high, double top, broke out below. Now it's a breakout test. So probably going lower. 15, micro double top, and then a sell-off, but finding buyers below the 13 close. I expect us to still go lower. It's a spike in channel bear trend on a smaller time frame, and on this time frame, it's a very tight channel. So clearly always in short, only look to sell. 16, trader sold the close, broke out below 15, scalped out, but probably going lower. 17, basically duplicate bars here. Very strong micro channel. Whatever reversal up we get is probably going to be minor. 18, reversed up below 17, but still inside of the micro channel, so probably sellers above. 19, sellers above, probably going lower. Follow through on 20, 21, 22, small bull reversal bar. But is this strong enough to reverse all of this? Probably not. Now we're breaking out below the prior day low, and we're testing it from the underside on 21, and we sold off. But bad follow through, so it could be a failed breakout of the prior day low. We have last week's low here, and we're so close that we'll probably get there. But often what happens when you have a very obvious magnet support or resistance, you start to turn up just before that price level. So we may find more buyers and short covering above 22. But for me, this channel down is incredibly tight. And I bet whatever rally we get is not going to work. And for that reason, I would not be interested in buying above this bar, and I would look to sell higher. And I would definitely get out of shorts above that bar. For that reason, it may be a decent scalp for the bulls, but for me, it's just too tight. Traders sold the close at 22, and we're trying to sell off on 23. 24, second leg up from 22, but again, the channel down is just too tight. This is the first attempt at a trendline break, the first real attempt at a trendline break in this whole sell-off, and I expect it to fail. 25, broke out above 24 and reversed down. We tested the low close on 23 and reversed up, but not by much. So that tells you that whatever bears are short are probably going to hold short. And for that reason, we got a duplicate bar. 26 is nearly a duplicate of 25, and I expect us to go lower. We're testing last week's low and now trying to break out below it. I'm going to adjust the bars so I can make sure we all see what's happening here. 27, starting to go sideways. We may have a hard time getting below this level. We had a hard time getting below yesterday's low. Now we're having a hard time getting below last week's low. And that tells you that we may find buyers down here and profit taking. It's consecutive sell climaxes with buying pressure all throughout. Although not that strong, there are open gaps reasonable to take profits on shorts unless we continue to go lower. 28, small flag for the bears. Could be a final flag and failed breakout of last week's low, yesterday's low. But again, just too tight to look to buy, better to sell. Breaking out below 28, reversing up. 29 is an outside bar. It's a bull reversal bar. Is this enough to reverse all the damage done by the bears? Probably not. But if you're a bear and you're holding short down here, this is a breakout test of the 21 low and the low close 21, 23. We may find short covering above that bar, but instead we found sellers. 30 broke out above and reversed down. Now we have a 4-bar tight trading range, 5-bar tight trading range. We're trying to hold support at last week's low, and so far it's looking okay. We broke out a little bit and reversed up, and now we're closing right at that level. 31 closing below that level, but bottom of the trading range, we may find buyers down here. Bull reversal bar, 32. It's at least 3 pushes down. The channel down is still extremely tight. We don't really have much overlap between the gaps, but we don't have any overlap with the gaps here between 32 and the low close 27. I take it back. There's maybe a small gap, but I expect that gap to close. 33, not an ideal entry bar for the stop entry, but minimal follow through. It's a bull bar, probably going a little bit higher. We may find more short covering above that bar. Buyers below 33, we reversed up on 34. Decent signal bar for another stop entry. Could be leg 1, pullback leg 2. Small tight trading range overall, starting to kind of round out and get less parabolic, getting less parabolic. So we may find more buyers above this bar, which explains 35. It's a bull breakout bar, closing above this swing point, now testing the EMA, where we may find sellers. The gap is closed between the body of the open of 22 and the close of 29. That gap is closed, which means now we're probably going to go test the close of 24, the high of 24. Reasonable to buy the close up here, expecting at least a couple of legs up. So the bulls are trapped up here, and therefore this price level is probably going to be resistance. 36, a small bar, and 37, more follow through, testing the high close and the high of 25, reversing back down. It's at least 2 or 3 legs up, but now we have a tight channel up, so probably the first reversal down is going to fail. You could say the first reversal down was here, 37, but I'm expecting a reversal to look like a bear bar. Doji bar, inside bar, testing the prior day low, reversing up, holding above the EMA, possibly buyers below, micro double bottom, and a rally on 39. It's a breakout, tight channel, probably going higher. Traders bought the close of 39, and we raced up on 40. 40 is a shaved bar, and that's going to attract profit takers. And if you look at this rally, we have leg 1, pause, leg 2, pause, leg 3, with a climactic third leg. It's parabolic. We're trying to break out of a bull channel on a smaller time frame, and that's going to attract profit takers. 41, decent signal bar for the short, testing resistance here, the 19 high, the 14 low, but possibly a breakout test of any of these breakout points. So we may find buyers down here. 42, doji bar, small channel down, but probably buyers below. 43, bull bar, could be a micro double top on a line chart. Could be a second leg trap in an overall trading range. And then 44. 44 is a strong outside bar. We're probably going to get a second leg down. We're trying to reverse the market to short. We have a small expanding triangle on a smaller time frame here. So we may find buyers down here, but because of the selling pressure today, I expect this to get a second leg down. 45, small pullback in a second leg, but probably needs more down. Trying to rally on 46, but bad buy signal bar, so probably sellers up here. Sellers up here, 47, reversing down. It's a shaved bar. It could be a second leg down from 44, but I expect it to go lower. 48, small pullback and then a sell-off, closing below the EMA, testing the inside bar. 38, we may find buyers down here. Instead, we get a follow-through bar. 49, probably going lower. Breakout test of yesterday's low. Probably going lower. Very tight channel, very tight breakout. Leg 1 needs a pullback, but instead we get a follow-through bar. Now, 4-bar consecutive bear micro channel, but bar 50 getting a little climactic and some buying into the close, so we may need to pull back. 51 sideways, 52 trying to get trend resumption on 53, but now we're testing the stop entry signal bar 34 for the bulls, so we may find buyers down here. We also have the high of 32. It's an overall trading range, and we're getting low in the range, so it's time to start thinking about buying. But this is a bad buy signal bar, so if we do get a rally, we may find a pullback to buy. Instead, we're getting a bull reversal bar. It's a decent stop entry long for the bulls, arguing a micro double bottom, good signal bar at support after a strong rally. If you look at this as leg 1 with a deep pullback, this could be the beginning of a higher low in leg 2, but we could easily go down and test a low of 32 before we get that leg 2. So 54, possibly sellers above and at the close. Risky for the bulls. If you are a bull taking the stop entry, you should swing. Why should you swing? You should swing because the probability is not high. Therefore, you cannot scalp and you have to swing. What's the chance that we get here before we get here? 50-50. Now, what's the chance we get here before we get here? Maybe 40%, something like that. And if it is 40%, that means you can go for 2 times your risk, and that's a profitable trader's equation. So if you do take this stop entry, stop down here, you should hold for at least 2 times your risk. Stop entry didn't trigger. Instead, trader sold the close of 54, but now we're bouncing again at last week's low. The channel down might be too tight, and this might not be enough to reverse this sell-off yet. Bad buy signal bar, but it triggered on 56. If you took this stop entry, I would say the argument is the same. You need to hold for at least 2 times your risk. We're not quite at 1 times your risk yet, so you need to be holding if you are long. 57, deep pullback, testing the signal bar and reversing up. We may need to go more down before we go more up. Bull reversal bar on 58. Reasonable stop entry for the bulls, expecting a second leg up from 56. Deep pullback and a rally on 58, but channeling higher. And then 60, breakout bar, testing the EMA, probably going higher. 61, channeling higher. Now we're at 1 times your risk, but still, if you took this stop entry, you need to be holding through all of this. Same with this. If you took this stop entry, you have to be holding through all of this, because it's just not 60% that we're going to get here before we get here. So channeling higher, you're probably going higher. 62, good for the bulls. It's consecutive bull bars in a 5-bar bull micro channel, but lots of overlap, and overall looks like a trading range leg, so we may find profit taking soon. Still not at the 2R target. Can't remember where it's at. Let's see. If you took that stop entry, it would be here, about the midpoint of 48. Inside bar, bear bar, testing EMA 63, probably buyers below. Now we have an open gap between 57 and 63. Bull bar, bad buy signal bar, but good enough. Closed at yesterday's low, so reasonable. Still not quite there, but getting there. 65, channeling higher, but doji bar, maybe sellers above. 66, buyers below. First reversal down, failed. Another stop entry for the bulls. It's not bad. It's a tight channel up. Reasonable, but not a good signal bar. So maybe more sellers above this high than anything. Instead, trader sold the close on 67. It's an outside bar. Testing the EMA again, but channeling higher. Channel line could be low of 63. Here, overall tight channel up. 1, 2, 3. Micro double top. But it looks like the short's failing, so therefore we may begin to rally. But we're getting follow through. 68. It's a strong bar. It could be 2 legs down in an overall trading range. We're testing the breakout point 57. So are we going to go lower or higher? Looks like we're going lower. 69 is a breakout bar, but not much conviction here. Leg 1, pullback. Leg 2, climactic second leg, bottom of the range. We're testing the signal bar 58 and trying to reverse up. We didn't quite get there, and we may get there. 70, strong breakout bar. At this point, the bulls probably are giving up because there's no chance that we're going to get back up here before we get down here. 70 is a strong bar, probably going lower. Instead, traders bought the close. This could be a higher low, micro double bottom, and not micro, but regular double bottom, higher low on 71. But the problem is it's about the midpoint of this sell-off, so we may find sellers here. 72, channeling higher, breaking out below 72, tight trading range 73. More sideways and then outside down on 75. Probably a second leg down from 67. Buyers below 75. Overall tight trading range. Maybe going higher. Trapped bears and 2 legs down. Higher low in a bull channel. We may be going higher. Maybe we'll get to this 2R target before we get down here. Buyers above for the stop entry on 77. But deep pullback 78. Probably running the stops that took this stop entry. Really not ideal. Very trappy behavior today. So it's a big bar, end of the day, probably better to just watch. And then sideways to down into the close. Overall, really fun day. I mean, tight channel down, don't do anything, just sell the close, sell the close, sell the close. And then here you get 35, closing above this swing point. You expect a little bit more up. But all the way up, there's not much conviction. Inside bar, pullback, big tail. And then a climax bar here, 40. So you expect sideways and profit taking here. micro double top on a line chart, actually head and shoulders on a line chart here, or a triple top, whatever you want to call it, a triple, let's call it a triple dookie. And then 2 legs down here, and then 47, characteristically different than everything over here. This bar broke out above and reversed down with a lot of conviction, closing on its low, then a small pullback and a sell-off, 48. This is a really good stop order. And if you took that stop order, you got many times your risk before we reversed up. So an always in short day, small triangle in trading range. At the end of the day, tight channel down. Really fun day. So that's it. Thanks for watching.